Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the legend of Toivo and Elishah, unpacking a seriously vivid, color-coded creation myth and prophetic allegory. We're taking a deep dive into a highly symbolic text that seamlessly weaves together cosmic battles, ancient prophecies, and ultimate redemption. This story operates on an absolute massive scale, taking us from the literal creation of the universe all the way down to the deeply personal destinies of two specific individuals. So let's get into it. The heavenly green stones reflect the glory of the creator of life. Right out of the gate, the author establishes this majestic, incredibly ethereal tone. We're introduced to bright, white-clad singer angels who literally sing the universe into existence. Notice how the text uses both auditory elements, the clear voices of the angels, and intense visual elements, like those heavenly green stones, to build out this universe. It instantly immerses us in a pure, perfectly ordered paradise before a single drop of conflict has even been introduced. And those greenstones, they aren't just decorative jewels. The text uses the color green here to establish the fundamental rules of life and a divine covenant right at the very beginning. The creator actually breathes these visible, glowing emerald stones into existence. They represent the color of life itself. A light is placed inside them that reflects an eternal plan. And the creator even casts a green arc above paradise as a symbol of a covenant for all future life. So, the entire foundation of this universe is built on this vibrant, living green energy. From those foundational stones, we get to watch a highly structured, step-by-step cosmic sequence unfold. It starts with the empty space of the universe, shaped with the elements of the earth. Then comes the light from those glowing stones. Next up, the creator divides the waters, making oceans of oxygen, and raises the earth's crust. Then the heavens are filled with burning, twinkling stars, which, by the way, the text beautifully calls the candles of the universe. Then come the living creatures, singing whales, leaping dolphins, and finally, the grand finale of this design. Mankind is formed from the dust. The text specifically notes that mankind was created for the sake of a spouse's heart, to share paradise, and to care for these newly created living beings. But, as you might guess, this pristine paradise doesn't stay pristine for long. We're introduced to a giant guardian angel, molded specifically to protect that glowing emerald forest. Crucially, though, this angel was granted a soul with its own free will, and that free will leads to a major distortion. A dark pride ignites. This guardian decides actually he wants to sit on the creator's throne and rule mankind, the crown of creation. And because of this massive rebellion, one of the brilliant stones of paradise turns completely dark. And this guardian's fall wasn't just some isolated incident. It had devastating, universe-wide consequences. The text explicitly tells us that as this stone went dark, it dragged a full one-third of the pure, white-clad singer angels down into darkness right along with him. That's a massive, devastating fracture in the perfect harmony of paradise. The cosmic stakes of this allegory are instantly sky-high. The heavenly response to this? Swift and dramatic. The creator doesn't hesitate for a second. He seals this fallen guardian inside a black stone and tosses him like lightning down into the expanses of the earth. A fire angel is dispatched to temporarily bind this stone in the realms of the air with burning chains. But here's the really fascinating part. The creator doesn't just punish. He declares that even this newly born evil will serve a purpose. It's going to be used to brighten the white hearts. A prophetic promise is made right then and there. The sun will eventually crush the head of this black serpent. This perfectly sets up the epic, enduring conflict between the pure white hearts and the demonic darkness that drives the rest of our story. Okay, so with the cosmic battle lines firmly drawn up in the heavens, the narrative completely shifts gears and drops us right into the earthly realm. Enter our prophesied protagonists, Toivo and Elishah. We zoom all the way in from this grand, universe-spanning perspective down to human lives, showing us exactly how this celestial war is going to be fought by people on the ground. And the environmental storytelling here is just brilliant. Toivo's birth happens amidst roaring thunder over a pulsating, white pearl-shaped temple. Talk about an intense, powerful entrance. At that exact moment, up in heaven, God declares these two will eventually be his strongest warriors, his sackcloth-clad witnesses. Then, exactly 10 years later, under the spring sun, Elishah is born. Her birth is tied to a totally different but equally powerful element. She's born as a white, living rose, right above the magnificent Seven Sisters waterfall in Gairanjar. Earthly elements like thunder and waterfalls literally mark them as elemental forces from day one. You are the son of thunder and an instrument of hope for this dark world. This incredibly dramatic declaration is spoken by the White Queen to the newborn Toivo right after the white midwives hand him over. It firmly establishes that Toivo isn't just a regular kid. He is a critical weapon in this mythological war. He is literally an instrument of hope, designed specifically to counteract that dark pride of the fallen guardian angel we were talking about earlier. Now, as the story starts building toward its climax, we get a really fascinating pivot. The text jumps forward from the ancient mythic past to what feels like the modern human experience. We focus in on an intense, highly symbolic vision experienced by a character named Pastor Kari while he's just sitting inside his church. This vision basically acts as a bridge, showing us how the spiritual warfare that started back in paradise actually manifests in our tangible world today. And this vision seriously cranks up the emotional stakes. Pastor Kari sees temples around the world shining brightly, but the absolute core of the vision, two golden roses weeping tears of blood. And when those drops of blood touch the suffocating darkness below, a darkness just filled with the reaching hands of trapped souls, something incredible happens. The demonic forces from that original fallen angel are finally defeated. The demons literally shriek, crying out that the time of their judgment has arrived, and they're cast into a deep ravine. It's a gorgeous, powerful representation of immense, world-altering sacrifice defeating an ancient evil. So, what's the theological key that actually washes away all this darkness? It all comes down to one word: agape. It's not a sword or some physical weapon that beats the demons in Carrie's vision. It's agape, the pure love of God. The text describes it manifesting as a massive, glittering golden tsunami-like wave. This giant wave of agape lifts the golden roses and simultaneously pulls all those trapped souls straight out of the darkness and up into the brightness of heaven. Pure love is the literal mechanism of salvation in this myth. Witnessing this golden tsunami of agape, Pastor Kari completely jolts awake in his church. He's weeping hysterically, but they're tears of profound joy. He screams out to his totally astonished parishioners, "It is a revival is being born." Kari's visceral gut reaction bridges the gap perfectly between a terrifying cosmic battle and a very real human spiritual awakening. The victory up in the heavens translates directly into a revival of human hearts right down here on Earth. And finally, all of these chaotic, mythic threads weave together for the story's ultimate resolution. After the fall of the angels, the binding of the serpent, the births of our warriors, and that wild apocalyptic vision of revival, the whole text culminates in a prophesied scene of perfect union, the eternal heavenly wedding between Toivo and Elishah. Let's look really closely at the details of this final union. Up in heaven, God declares he's binding Toivo and Elishah with a golden chain of love forever. Down on earth, we are taken right back to the Seven Sisters waterfalls where Elishah was born. The angels blow to the four winds, catching Elishah's white wedding veil and blowing it away. And this is where the text just gets masterful. As the veil vanishes, she smiles, and the story specifically highlights her green, soul-piercing emerald eyes, radiating light. Notice how the mention of her green emerald eyes brings the entire story full circle. It visually connects this intimate human wedding right back to the glowing green emerald stones of creation from the very beginning of our explainer. As Toivo grasps her hand, a diamond reflects a rainbow, and Jesus appears to bless their eternal union. The absolute perfection of the original paradise is fully restored through their love. As we wrap up this explainer, this allegorical text leaves us with a truly profound question. Why do we do this? Why do we continually weave such epic cosmic significance, light versus dark, angels and demons, creation and apocalypse, into our most fundamental human stories of love, marriage, and connection? Whether it's through glowing green stones or a giant golden wave of agape, these universal archetypes continue to shape our most fascinating and complex mythological stories. It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes human love really does feel as vast and as consequential as the creation of the universe itself. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep questioning the profound structures behind the stories we tell.